My name is Ephraim Nikoi, and I'm in the Communicating Arts department. I'm an assistant professor of communication and distance learning. I teach classes both online as well as face-to-face on the campus. So one of the courses I teach is Introduction to Communication, and this is a course that is required by the university for all students to take. One of the areas that I also teach is intercultural communication. There are other courses too, like conflict. These courses are wide range, so I have students from wide background, wide variety of interests, and that is really what makes the classes so much fun, because many of these students bring a lot of life experiences to the classroom. My typical teaching day starts with going online, first of all, to check on my online students. I usually have to log in, see where my students are, how their discussions are going, which is always a priority because it just helps me to keep track of what is going on in the classroom online. The other thing is preparing for my classes on the ground, my face-to-face class. And that includes, of course, looking at the chapters that we need to review for the day. I also do additional research. It is important that you are always abreast with what is going on. So let's assume that I'm teaching a course in intercultural communication, which is a course that I teach often. And there are things happening around the world. What are the lessons learned from these experiences? These are things that I always have to make sure that I bring to the class for the students to understand how what they are learning in the classroom is really linked to what is going on in the day-to-day lives of people around them and around the world. That is really important. One of the things that we have to understand with our current students is that they are dynamic, and it is also important to understand that you need to engage them in different ways. You need to make sure that you are not lecturing and speaking at students. Students need to feel like they are part of this learning process. I call it the co-creation of knowledge, right? Students must be part of that process of learning. And for me, that includes making sure that my classroom is engaging. It means bringing in technology. It means having them do research. I also have office hours. Every week I maintain office hours where students come to my office to talk to me about various things. And this could be students that I'm advising or students in my classes. Online students sometimes call me or they send me emails. Right now I have about 31 advisees. And my advisees are not only students who are coming to campus here. There are students who are online who are my advisees. And many of these students are full-time workers. So sometimes you go home and then you get a call, or sometimes over the weekend, to talk to students about issues that they are facing, and this is really important. This takes a lot of time. You have a lot of students who come in, and my colleagues always say, looks like this student was in your office for so long. I say, yeah, we had to deal with some crisis. We had to deal with certain things that they are dealing with that we needed to work on. And grading papers is not just about, oh yeah, this is good, let's move on. As an instructor, it is really important that I give students feedback and to give them constructive feedback, because I want them to know what they are doing right, what they need to improve, what are things that they need to work on, what are some additional research that they need to do for that particular assignment. And this calls for a lot of work, but it's worth it because you want to make sure that students are learning. In terms of my research, there are so many things that I'm doing. I just went through a chapter that I'm working on with some of my colleagues right now on internationalizing the curriculum. I co-edited a book on collaborative communication processes and decision-making in organizations. My area of research is organizations. I look at communication processes in organizations, so it's a wide range of research. I really like to work with students. I've worked with some students who have presented at conferences. I've worked with a lot of students who are coming up with new ideas on research topics. This is really important because it is an opportunity to look at teaching in different ways. I'm currently a member of the Faculty Senate. I'm also a coordinator in what we call the high impact practices. You look at committee work and say, well, I have maybe 3 hours of committee meetings every week. The time that you spend is almost double of that, because if it is 3 hours, you're spending over 6 hours totally. It's just been great to be part of the communicating arts department and to see the different programs that we have there. I think it's just been a great opportunity for me to be able to do that in diverse ways, and to work with people to achieve their goal of understanding the world around them, and getting to know themselves much, much better. So it's just been great to be part of it.